Thank y'all. Let me move my camera up just a little bit. Okay. So there we go. So how y'all doing today? Let me put my microphone on. Put that on. I'll make it move it down just a little bit. Right there, I would say. Okay. So how y'all doing? So I just want to do a quick intro so you know who I am. So this live today is about living the trilingual life. This is what I'm going to be talking about today. Happy Friday to everyone. Bon vendredi. Feliz viernes. I am kind of sort of working on the side right here. I work from home, right? So we're going to be talking about who I am. So as you know, every day I'm almost on here doing my live, and I'm RussellTrilingual. So my brand is languages, culture, and vibe. Language, culture, vibe. The other set of words I like to use for my brand is trilingual, nostalgic, and authentic. So that sums up my whole brand. So what does trilingual life actually means for me? So basically, to me, it means first of all the southern flavor. Like originally from Memphis, Tennessee, so just having that southern flavor is just my English. My English is different than say people English in the north part, east coast, west coast. Like I'm in the lane of my own. So um that's what that means for me, like for my English. For my Spanish, it goes back to like in the United States, like I'm originally from Memphis. So even in Memphis, I was learning Spanish back years ago. I always loved Spanish in high school. Even in high school, I remember I wanted to like, I was so happy because I'm like, I really want to take Spanish. I really want to take that class. I was sort of kind of between Spanish and French. So, and then me moving to Mexico and learning Spanish, like I already knew Spanish before I came to Mexico, but it just added a lot of flavor to it. So that's the Spanish. So this those two languages right now, that's part of my life, and then also French right now. So French, I originally took interest in it in 2013. That was the first time I took. I just thought French was always such a beautiful language, but it was always hard for me to find somebody that I could practice with. It was way difficult to practice with people in French than it was Spanish. But I realized the reality that Spanish is, of course, more in demand. So that's my trilingual life, and I still live this trilingual life every day because I'm watching something in French every day. I'm using Spanish in Mexico every day, and then I'm using English every day. Because I'm real at this point, I actually work for an agency and I do French as well as an interpretation. But I haven't started to get anybody that speak French yet. Like I haven't. But I probably will get somebody that speak French at some point. So to me, that's my trilingual life: English, Southern accent, and of course the Spanish and French. That's part of my Southern. My trilingual life. So I want to talk about being trilingual. Like I just want to sort of kind of bust the myth. So being trilingual isn't just about grammar. It's about culture. It's about your mindset. So I'm here. The reason I created my brand because I want to get people in the mindset of being, hey, how you doing, Ram? I want to get people in the mindset of being, it could be bilingual or trilingual. So if you bilingual, if you monolingual and you just like want to be part of my channel, go ahead, hit that subscribe button. If you feel like I just want to be part of this trilingual mindset, I want to be part of this culture. If you want to be part of this culture, you want to be part of this channel, then go ahead. You love to travel. Okay, you love to travel. So go ahead and hit the subscribe button if y'all haven't subscribed. If you love to travel, you getting direct communication. No third parties. No third parties. But being trilingual isn't just grammar. It's really not. I like to enjoy the language. Like with Spanish, I have really no choice but to speak it every day. But I say that in a good way because I love Spanish, right? But I'm interpreting, I'm working all the time. So I always have to speak Spanish, right? But I love it. And with the French, it sets me apart even more because I just love French. So my mindset is set to where like I'm gonna make sure I'm always watching something in Spanish. I'm gonna make sure. Well, really in French, right? Since I live in Mexico, there's really no reason for me to be so tied down to French. I mean Spanish, right? Bye bye. There's no reason to be tied down to that. So yeah, it's just no reason for me to be. So that's why French is. I mean, Spanish is not something I actively learn every day. Like I don't really normally say I'm gonna watch something in Spanish normally because I mean I'm around Spanish all the time. So it's like sometimes I just say, you know what, I'm gonna watch something in Spanish, but it's like I'm around, I'm using it every day. So it's like it's almost like English and Spanish is my first language, the way it feels. And then French is like my second language, the way I feel that it is. Okay, but yeah, as I'm saying, like in the culture that I bring to you is Southern culture. I bring to you Southern culture. That's what you're gonna get. You're gonna get Southern culture. You'll get some Mexican twists and the French twist. So that's just that's the trilingual mindset. Whenever you learning a language, hey, what's up? Assalamu alaikum. Yeah, I know that. I know that in Arabic, but when you learning a language, just mindset is everything. You want to make sure you just enjoy it. No rushing learning it. Don't rush yourself. Just enjoy it. So that's really my take on just it being about culture. I dance. I dance is part of what I do. It's part of my vibe. So it's about culture, keeping you motivated. Like sometimes I have not been motivated to learn French, but what keeps me motivated is I know that I love the language, right? I know that I love the language, and I'm not trying to pressure myself into improving fast, but like I said, I give myself about an hour a day in French, about a good hour, longer if I can, but I try to at least do about a good hour. But even if you did like 30 minutes a day, but you stuck with it, it's good. Okay. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to give y'all one short personal story. And this is going to be talk about my Memphis roots, my languages, and where I am now. So I'll be giving y'all a personal story. I appreciate the free people that's in here. I thank y'all. If you want to tell me where you're from or something in the comments, you can do it. So my Memphis roots, we're gonna talk about the Memphis roots. That's where it all starts. So I'm a black man originally from Memphis, Tennessee. I grew up there. I say this in a lot of my videos. So I grew up in an all black household. So I wasn't around Spanish in my early life. I wasn't around French, but I knew at a young age, I'm like, okay, I know I like languages. Like I knew at a very young age that I love languages. And I just always like when I seen stuff in different languages, I was just drawn to it like at such a young age. So in Memphis, living there, I always wanted to know a different language. And I kind of was sort of like I say in the early stages when I wanted to learn, I was in between French and I was in between Spanish. I was in between those two languages. So I'm like, which one should I learn? But Spanish just came so easy because it was like so many people around me at a certain age where I'm like, okay, it seemed like Spanish is more common. Like, as I had worked at different places, I think I worked at like a grocery store, like supermarket, and then it was just so common that Spanish people would come in. Spanish people would come in the store, and I would like feel bad because I'm like, man, I don't understand what they saying. I just don't understand. So it was just so many opportunities for me that just came by. And then when I worked at a particular college, so I'm like, Spanish is just coming to me. It was just something that I didn't have to really chase. So I was like, okay, I definitely want to learn Spanish because it was like easy to practice Spanish. So that's why I decided to learn Spanish. Where am I now? Where am I now? So we're gonna talk about this. Where am I now with all of this being said at this point? Well, I'm in Mexico. That's number one. Um, at this point, I don't really try to really practice Spanish because I'm around it all the time. Hello, Pixel. How you doing, Pixel? What's up, Hunter? Yeah, I don't try to practice it like that because me living in Mexico, why am I practice Spanish for? Like I already know Spanish, so it's like I don't have to practice because it's like, do I have to really practice English? Because I'm around it all the time. Like I'm an interpreter. I'm on the phone. It's just part of my life. Now French, I have to practice that, because I don't have opportunities to where I can speak to people in French. It's just not coming like that. Like I would have to get on the internet and I gotta look for somebody to speak French. And like I say, them people really be really like a lot of the times, like in my experience, I can find somebody that speak French, but I'm going good. I'm doing good. I'm doing good. So right now we talking about the trilingual life. I'm talking about the trilingual life. That's what I'm talking about. So it's hard to find people that speak French, but I find every now and then I can find somebody to speak, but they be more like they don't respond back. They don't, so they be kind of sort of hard. Yeah, so the topic is living the trilingual life. So I'm a trilingual person. So I'm talking about living the trilingual living the trilingual life. Right. And when I was talking about, I was saying like how French, when I tried to practice with French people, they wasn't as open as the Spanish speaking people. Like they just wasn't as open. Like they were like, I'll send a message and they wouldn't even respond. Or I just couldn't find nobody to talk to consistently that spoke French. So that was very hard for me. But like I was saying, Spanish is part of my everyday life. Like whether I want to talk it or not, I'm living in Mexico. So trilingual life. So me living in Mexico, I ain't got no choice. I want to talk some taco. Te encargo de cuatro tacos, por favor, or cinco tacos. It's just, I mean, I'm in Mexico. And everybody that come to Mexico that's from a different country don't even learn Spanish. Everybody don't. But I came in already knowing it. I already knew it years before I ever moved to Mexico. So I want to ask y'all a question, and I also am on my business, right? I'm working my brand, Russell Trilingual. That's what I'm doing now. I gotta actually end this live, y'all, or put y'all on hold. Hold on. All right, so I'm back, y'all. I'm back. I'm back. So finally, wow. So that was about a good. I was gone for about almost 10 minutes. Okay, so yeah. So I'm doing my live, y'all. So and working. I'm working. I'm working. Okay. So I think what I was talking about. So I was talking about how many languages do you speak or want to learn? That's what I was talking about. So, how many languages do you speak or want to learn? So, this we're gonna ask the people in the live now and give y'all time to respond to it. Can y'all let me know that? Anybody just let me know how many languages do you speak or want to learn? That's what I'm asking everybody now. So we're talking about just languages. That's it. We talking about languages and we talking about the trilingual life. That's what we're talking about. So how many languages do you speak or want to learn? So anybody that's part of my channel probably speak a different language or they want to learn a different language. If you on here, you either want to speak one or you learn one or you like, you know, or you love what I present, what I represent. So let me know how many languages everybody that's coming on right now. Tell me how many languages do you speak or want to learn? How many languages do you speak or want to learn? Can we get some feedback? Hey, how you doing, Rajir? How many languages do you want to speak or how many languages do you speak or want to learn? So I'm trilingual. I speak three languages, okay? English from the South with the Southern accent. You know what I'm saying? And then we got Spanish, Mexico. And then we got Le Français. So I speak three languages. So I don't want to learn no other language. But if somebody spoke around me another language, so you speak five languages. Okay, what languages do you speak? What five languages do you speak? It's interesting. Five languages? My. So you speak five languages fluently? Five languages fluently? Like, man, that's a big thing. Like I speak three, and my Spanish and English is like the strongest languages that I speak. And I do speak French too, but I mean, obviously, I'm not really around people that speak French, so it's like hard to just keep it up. But every day, I'm watching some content in French, and I don't have no rush to continue to improve it. But what five languages do you speak? What five languages do you speak? What five languages do you speak? Let me know. Let me know over on here. So you say you speak Hindi, English, German, Japanese. Oh wow, you speak a. Ooh, that's a lot. That's a lot. That's a lot of languages. That's a lot. So, all right. So we're gonna also talk about. So I want to tell y'all about my daily reality. Thank you for sharing it. Thank you for sharing it. I appreciate it. Subscribe to the channel if you're not. Go ahead, hit the subscribe button. All right. But I just want to paint a picture of my daily reality. I'm gonna talk to y'all about my daily reality. So I want to talk about switching between languages during the day. You learning three more. Okay. Yeah, I speak Spanish, English, Spanish, and French. So I want to talk about switching between languages during the day. I switch a lot between English and Spanish, like a lot, like automatically. Like it's a lot of times I switch between both languages because I talk to my family, my brothers, my siblings. We talk English. It's Southern swag, Southern English. And then when I'm working, I'm speaking Spanish, or in Mexico, I'm speaking Spanish. I'm thinking a lot in English, but I feel like at this point, I think a lot in Spanish too. Like, but by default, if I'm just thinking, like just really thinking, it's probably in English. But then if I'm kind of thinking, it's probably in Spanish, like not really thinking that deep, but thinking. And then I even dreamed in Spanish before. French, I don't really switch between French that much because I don't use French that much. But only if I'm recording a video or something in French, or if I'm doing my live and si je dis un mot en français, like if if I say a word in French, then that's about the only time I switch between French. So that's how my daily life looks. Mainly if I'm out in Mexico, out going to the store, I'm speaking Spanish all the time. It's just natural to speak Spanish to me. If I'm interpreting, I'm speaking Spanish. So how languages shape identity and personality? That's what I want to talk about. How do languages shape identity and personality? Y'all can leave some comments if you feel like you want to. So for me, come on now. Don't forget, I'm from Memphis, Tennessee. I got the Southern accent, right? So my identity, core identity, is still there. Like I'm from the South. I'm from the United States, right? So I have my identity as this Southern black man. You know what I'm saying? I don't care how many languages I speak. I speak, what's up, Callan? I speak Spanish. I speak French, but I got that Southern foundation. Speaking the language don't change that. You know what I'm saying? I'm still from the South, still love some Tupac, still love me some, different rappers, MC Light, 90s music. My American United States influence is very deep, because it's what I grew up on. Grew up on Martin. I watched the Parkers show, the Parkers, right? I watch all those black shows, the black movies, Boys in the Hood, because I grew up on it. Like I'm really from the hood. Like I'm from the hood, but the way the languages shape my identity, because I've lived in Mexico, so it's like now I got that identity, the Mexico identity too, because I've been in Mexico almost 6 years. Like in March next month, it'll be 6 years. So it adds to my natural Southern identity as a black man, because I lived in Mexico. French, I would say, based on the things I've watched, like TV shows and stuff like that in French, it kind of shapes my identity, but not as much as Spanish and English because, like I said, I've never lived in France before, but like I said, I have some exposure. Exposure is exposure, whether you live in France or live in a French-speaking country. You still can, with the technology we have nowadays, you still can develop the identity in a language without even living in the country. I have spoke with people that are in Mexico that have never lived in the US, but they may have grew up on shows that were in the US. So I don't think you have to go to another country just to develop an identity or personality. Because I feel like my personality is still more Southern Russell. Like my personality is very Southern Russell. Like my base personality. Like I feel like I'm not really Mexican. I mean, because like I know of the culture and I have knowledge, but it forms part of my identity to an extent. But my foundation is definitely, and my most dominant part of my personality is definitely Southern. No question, hands down. So we want to also talk about the cultural crossover moments. Okay, so I've had more cultural crossover moments when I learned different languages because I travel a lot. Okay, that's good. That's good. That's good. Y'all subscribe if y'all haven't subscribed. So we're gonna talk about some cultural crossover moments. So when I first came to Mexico, I wanted to listen to Spanish music all the time. Before I moved to Mexico, I wanted to listen to Spanish music all the time. That's all I wanted to hear. I didn't like people to speak to me in English because I wanted to learn Spanish. I was so hungry to learn it. So there was like a crossover for me because I'm like, I don't want to speak English. Like, if you Spanish and you speak Spanish, talk to me in Spanish. I used to get mad. I'm just being honest. And then I remember I used to work in a grocery store, supermarket, and people used to, when I see that they was Mexican, Spanish, whatever, Latino, I would say, just start speaking Spanish. I didn't care. Like, I just like, hola, ¿cómo estás? And I just keep, because I was so hungry to learn so much. And I'm like, man, I just want to learn. Hey, how you doing? How you doing? Do I love turkey? Yeah, I mean, I don't really mind. Okay, so yeah, so in the humor is different when it comes to humor too in different languages. Like when you look at humor is different. Like in Spanish, humor is different than in English. Like stuff we find funny, even within the United States. Like the humor is different. You know what I'm saying? Like things I might find funny that's down south is different than on the East Coast. So we even have like a different crossover within that same language. You know what I'm saying? So it's not so much about the language. Sometimes it's just a cultural crossover. Like certain things in Mexico I didn't really find funny that they find funny. You know? So even though I speak Spanish, it's still a different in the culture. Like, me speaking a different language doesn't equate to the culture at all times. Like I like what I like about Mexico, definitely, but it's different being coming to a different country as an adult than if you came as a child. Because as an adult, you already sort of, you know, confirm, you already, right. Like when people say negro, like I was getting offended by negro, but they were saying it like it's a good thing, like negrazo. I think somebody said like negrazo, morenazo. But you could tell in the context the way they said it. Hey, Spidey, what's up? How you doing? You could tell in the context by the way they said it, they wasn't. You could tell in the tone of the voice of somebody saying something with a bad intention. Okay, so we're gonna talk about the mental workout of interpreting, y'all. So me being an interpreter is not hard for me all the time, but sometimes I get different accents. And then I did a simultaneous Spanish and English test. It was different parts. It was the consecutive interpreting, it was sight translation, and then it was the I failed the simultaneous part, but I passed this consecutive, and then I passed the sight translation. Man, it's so hard. It's so hard. Even though I'm fluent in both languages, it was just like you got to move so fast. They want you to talk so fast. So I end up. I'm gonna take it again. I'm gonna retake it. My family have very much culture diversity. Okay, so you kind of know sort of kind of about different cultures, and do you know about the black culture, like Tupac, all that, and this is kind of mainstream. Janet Jackson, this like mainstream stuff. Martin, the TV show. I don't know if you diversity, you might know, but you're gonna see it on this channel. Like if you subscribe, you're gonna see me post music, dances from different artists. This, American artists. Is your job being threatened by AI? You know what? I think that I look around me, you know what I'm saying, and I look at other jobs. Like interpreting is something that's very, a job that's very mental, and it really saves companies money to have somebody there. So if they still have cashiers, I don't see why AI would be really threatening my job. I mean, they still got cashiers, they still got translators, they still got. I put it like this: I make the job don't make me. So that sums it up. I feel like as long as I make the job, AI can never threaten my job because I got my personality in it. I got my own southern swag in it. AI cannot copy it, right? So I would really like to flip that question around. Is my job threatening AI? Is AI threatened by my job? That's what I would want to say. Is AI threatened by my job? Right, because I make the job don't make me. As a matter of fact, it's not even a job. I don't even have a job. And what I mean by that is I have a passion. I have a passion for what I do. I love doing what I do. So to answer your question, no. Do you embrace being American? Yes, I embrace more now. More now. I definitely embrace more now being African American because I see how many people just love the culture. At first I was trying to be like so deep into other cultures, like, Mexican culture and stuff. And I still love it and appreciate it, but I love being black. Yes, I love being African. I love it. And it makes me stand out even more that I speak different languages. I never want to hide my identity. Hope you have a great day ahead. Y'all subscribe if y'all not subscribed yet. There's no way this guy's Irish. Don't think corporate cares about your personality, unfortunately. Well, I'm in a lane of my own. Yeah, I'm not a corporate worker. I'm in a lane of my own. I work for myself. Yeah, I'm not working for nobody. Like I work for myself technically. Like I mean, I service certain agencies, but at the end of the day, I don't work no corporate job. So if my job threatened, their job threatened, I look at the same thing. I mean, because if AI could take over that, AI could take over their corporate job. So do they care about their own personality or their own job? I mean, I feel like it. Look, to me, if AI gonna threaten that, it's a lot of stuff on the line. It's a lot of stuff on the line if it's threatening interpreting. Yeah, definitely. Because like I feel like for interpretation, you can't use that AI in like emotional situations or in like something very serious. You just can't because if it's a mistake or something doesn't go right, then who's the liability? You got to think about who's gonna be the liability on it. You can't blame AI. What you gonna sue AI? Like no. So I feel like yes, AI in a way has maybe taken over some certain tasks, maybe, but I mean, we've been going through this since the beginning of time. I mean, it's always something that makes our jobs easier. So I feel like AI make our job easier. So the three languages I speak, English is my first language, Spanish and French. So those are three languages I speak. Um, this man comes across education. Right. I just know, like, I mean, just look around you. Like some of the times you just gotta look around you and you can obviously see, like, I mean, you still got cashiers. Like, that's really more basic than an interpreter. So I would think that that would go first, like if it was gonna be, but you gotta understand that humans still like a human connection. AI cannot just completely replicate that. And you saying that they don't care about my personality. Look, I'm not putting all my eggs in no one basket, even if I was with a corporate job. I have my own global reach. And at the end of the day, personality does matter, to their clients, to people. Like, because at the end of the day, who are the clients of the corporate people? Human beings. At this point in stage, we care. I mean, personality matters. Having that human touch, that human, it matters, right? Like people crave it. If anything, I think that people would even appreciate a human being even more, right? I would think it would be even more. AI is just a tool. I wish I knew another language, but I don't even talk to anyone in English because I'm shy. Thankfully, right, right. I just think like I mean, how could you still got people cleaning up? You know what I'm saying? Like, listen to your thoughts. You still got people cleaning up, right? You still got people cleaning up, doing the basic of the basic. So I don't think it'll. It's almost like you used to use a broom to sweep the floor, and now you're using a vacuum cleaner, a robot vacuum cleaner. I mean, is it replacing your job? No, it just made it easier. Same thing. Okay, so all right, so we talking about how languages open doors. A robot like right, those things just make it easier. I feel like this has been happening since the beginning of time. AI is no different than it. That's my opinion. I don't think it's any different. Like, what did you use to clean the floor back before it was a vacuum? You use a broom. Then we got the vacuum cleaner with the bags. Then we got the vacuum cleaner with no bags. Then we got the robot vacuum cleaner a long time ago. That's been at least out for about 20 years, right? Probably, right? At least minimum. So it just makes your job easier. Yeah, it makes our jobs easier, guys. It just makes it easier for us. It's not replacing it. But fear sales. Fear sales. You said you want a robot toilet. I don't know how that'll work. As an Indian who speaks, I don't know how to say those languages. You consider yourself polyglot? Y'all subscribe now. Y'all hit that subscribe button so y'all can see when I go live and see me dance, see my videos. Hit that subscribe button. I'm doing great. I'm doing great. Thank you for asking me. Bro, you're saying all jobs that involve manual labor. Well, cashier, that's not really, well, is that manual labor? Well, it's the same thing. I think it's the same thing. Like, you still got cashiers, you still got speakers, you still got rappers that rap. It depends on what you put into what you do. I don't think AI can replace, but it makes it easier, right? But not just cut out everything. Okay, so getting back to it, how languages open doors professionally? Y'all can comment on this. So for me, it was just being an interpreter. That had open doors for me professionally, and then me just running this channel. People see that I speak different languages. I speak English, Spanish, and French. So that really opened doors for me. Like speaking Spanish has helped me get so many jobs. Like some jobs I turn down because I don't want because they're not paying enough, and you got a lot of people trying to get the money. I'm cutting out the middleman. I only want to work for me. I don't want to work for nobody else. All right, so that's how it opens. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna tell y'all a few anecdotes. I'm gonna talk about a funny interpretation moment. All right, so y'all heard the southern accent, right? So I'm gonna talk about a funny moment. So when they get me on the line, they expect to hear like somebody with a Mexican accent or somebody like with a Spanish speaking accent. That's what they be expecting because I'm the person that habla español, right? And it was at one time somebody got on the phone and it was like, "Where is the interpreter? Like, where is he? Like, he's not on the phone. Like, I asked for an interpreter." Like, they be so confused and they was so confused. And they was like, I'm like, "Well, I'm the interpreter." And it was just such a confusion. And then when I was talking, it was like, is that the interpreter or who is that on the phone? Is somebody else on the line? Like, it was crazy because my accent in Spanish is so different. Like, es muy diferente, como hablo español, ¿verdad? Entonces, like, you see that? So they felt like it was somebody else. They're like, "You got somebody else on the phone? Like, what's going on?" Like the lines was mixed up or something. Like, that was just had me cracking. I was like, "It's me. I'm the interpreter. It's me." So that was just like crazy. Like, yeah, it was crazy. And it's because my accent in English is so Southern. It's not Mexican or Latino at all. Like nothing. ¿Cómo está? ¿Qué pasa, amigo? Suscríbete si no estás suscrito. ¿De dónde me miras? Okay, so we also want to talk about a cultural misunderstanding that I have learned. This is what we want to talk about. So in Mexico, they say like ahorita, but ahorita could mean like later. Like it don't mean like right now. But that was something I didn't understand. And then it's also just like certain jokes, like like I was saying, like when people say more than naso, when they say more than naso, I'm like, okay, I was sort of kind of offended, like, why are you calling me like real dark, But it's just a lot of things they said in Mexico could have a double meaning, or it could be like a very nice thing. I'm talking about the trilingual life, okay? And at this point, I'm talking about the cultural misunderstandings. Like, sometimes you just don't understand certain things because of culture wise. And it was a moment. So I want to also talk about a time language helped me connect with someone. That's what I want to talk about. So I remember a long time ago, this was probably like in 2015, 2016. I went to New York with my mom, my brothers. We was up there. And it was expensive. Parking was very expensive in New York. If you ever been to New York, parking is very expensive, like crazy. Man, like I think it was $20 an hour or something like that. And we was trying to find parking, and we ended up like going to this little, like it was a certain area, like a garage. And I think, yeah, it was a garage we had went to for parking in New York. And the people spoke Spanish, and the price was a good price. Like the price was like better than 20. I think it was like $30 or something for a whole day. And I was like, I empecé a hablar en español y dije, ¿cuánto cobras? Y I talked to him, and my mom was like so happy. And then we was able to park and pay less money. Right, we had found a good deal, and it was because I was able to communicate in Spanish. So I was able to connect with them that way. Let me see. Okay, let's see. Countries where practice can, yeah. Okay, so what I'm saying. So there was a time that I had connected with somebody with Spanish. With French, I don't know. I've talked to people in French, but I don't feel like I just really just had that. No, I had an interpretation. I had to interpret something in French one time, and I could understand what they were saying. So I just had to. I had never interpreted in French, so I was like kind of sort of nervous a little bit, but I ended up understanding. and I helped the person out. Like the person that needed my services, I ended up helping them to understand the French person. So that was the time with French. Okay. So I'm gonna talk about the challenges too. So the mental fatigueness of I'm switching between languages. The only time I feel mental fatigue is if it's like a people talking too fast. You know, they talking so fast, and I'm like, I'm speaking Spanish and English, and then they got like a certain weird dialect, like accent or something. They just talking fast. That's the time I felt like some mental fatigue with languages. Feeling caught between two cultures. I also want to talk about that, y'all. Y'all comment, y'all like, share, subscribe. So being in Mexico is definitely a different culture, right? You know, than where I'm from. You know, it's not the exact same thing. You know, it's definitely different. So I felt like here I had to kind of sort of, how could I say it? Like I said, when I first got to Mexico, it was more like me trying to really learn things. I was very enthusiastic. You know, traveled a lot more throughout Mexico. Um, but I just felt caught between both cultures. Like I felt like I'm a black man, so I got my own culture and stuff I grew up on, and it just felt like I wasn't used to a lot of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like certain things that is in the U.S. wasn't in Mexico. Like the time of the day of eating certain things was different from the people in Mexico than the people in the United States. Like tamales. Like I eat tamales at night. You know, like back in my culture, like in the US, like we eat hot tamales normally at nighttime. Like it's not no breakfast thing, you know. But when I came to Mexico, it's so common that people eat them in the morning. Right. So it's so common to eat them in the morning. And then just yeah, I would say that was like one of the biggest things. Yeah, that was one of the biggest things that there was like a cultural shock or like me being caught between two different cultures and just I would also say going to clubs, you know, the music be different in clubs, you know. Like when I used to go to karaoke, they would sing, of course, mostly in Spanish, but I was able to sing in English. But me singing in English kind of felt, I don't know, like I feel like if I was in the US and I sung in English, you know, depending on the crowd that was there that night, you know, and where I was in Mexico City, like that was just like being caught between two cultures. Because a lot of the times I sort of kind of feel like, okay, I need to sing in Spanish because you know, it's so many people speak Spanish, so it's like I want to sing. And I remember it was a girl that was that was so I got to put y'all on hold. Oh, I almost had to put y'all on hold. So it was this girl. She was. I'm about to end this live in a minute though. But it was this girl that was at karaoke at one point one night, and she didn't want to sing in English because she felt like the crowd was Spanish crowd. And a lot of the times when I was at karaoke, I would sometimes feel that way, and sometimes I'm like, forget it. I'm gonna just sing in English because that's what my heart felt at that time. And then if I felt in my heart I wanted to sing in Spanish, I would sing in Spanish. But yeah. And sometimes I feel like if I sung in Spanish certain songs, people would really clap for it. But if it was a song I sung that people didn't know like that, it was just like so that was like me just being caught between two cultures. So imposter syndrome and learning language. I mean, when you learn a language, I mean, it's just, you know, it's something new. You know, it's just something new you learning. Maintaining consistency is that's one of the hardest parts. The hardest parts is maintaining consistency. Maintaining consistency, y'all. Um, so it's been hard for me. At times, it's hard for me to maintain consistency. So I mean, like practicing French every day, because, like I said, I don't have nobody to practice French with. You know, so and then I'm not using it often, so it's hard to keep that consistent. Spanish, even if I want to speak it or don't want to speak it, I'm speaking it every day, you know, so that's a different story. Yeah, but motivation, if you follow me on my channel, then I'm gonna make sure that that I'm always gonna motivate you to learn the language. I'm gonna always make sure I'm motivating you. I'm gonna have these lives. We're gonna be talking. So I thought I had to put y'all on. I'm about to end this in a minute. I'm about to end this live, y'all. So I'm not gonna be on much long. So anyway, yeah, consistency with the language is sort of kind of hard. But you got to keep doing. You learn German in 6 months. But you got to be consistent. Like as long as you're consistent, you can learn it. But I mean, here's what make it worth it. What makes it worth it to me is that I'm glad that I get to learn different languages. I love it. I love it. Motivation. Let's talk about this. So I feel like freedom to communicate with more people. I have freedom to be able to do that. I can communicate with people in French, Spanish, and English, of course. I have a lot more career opportunities just by me speaking Spanish, like because Spanish is in demand. So I have like a lot more career opportunities. I chose to be an interpreter, but I'm currently a trilingual coach. I'm a trilingual coach. I got my own website, so they actually created the opportunity for me. So I have my own website, RussellTrilingual.com, and I wouldn't have been able to do that if I didn't speak different languages. Oh, okay. Hey, so I appreciate that. So you said YouTube headquarter world. Hi, I'm from the YouTube HQ. We have noticed that you are looking really good today. We decided to like your stream. Okay, thank you. I appreciate that. Sending you love too. Much love. Much love. Much love. I'm trying to get to 5,000 followers. All right, hopefully. Maybe more views too. So yeah, me speaking different languages like English, Spanish, and French, it helped me to create my own website. Like, and then I got social proof that I can speak the languages. It has helped me to be able to be an interpreter for 7 years over the phone. It has helped me to be able to communicate in Mexico. I don't got to use no AI. You know what I'm saying? I can do, and people still feel impressed by somebody being able to speak different languages. People feel impressed about that. I speak three languages, so people feel impressed. Even though you got AI, people just still find it impressive that that I can speak three languages, or I think in general, I think it's more impressive if somebody just can speak it, even if it's with errors, even if it's not perfect. It's just impressive, and I don't think that's just gonna go away. So English, Spanish, and French. Yeah. So, and I feel like it boosts my confidence. Me speaking, coming to Mexico, it boosts my confidence. I feel so much more confident. And then the fact that I'm black, I don't know, and from my background where I come from, like the hood, Memphis, Tennessee, like I gotta put y'all on hold, y'all. I'll be back. All right. I am back. I am back. Yes. So we wrapping it up now. I don't have too much more to say, but we wrapping it up. So I was saying that the confidence has boosted me speaking different languages, boosting the confidence, cultural richness. I love to speak Spanish. I love speaking French. It just, and then I'm a black man from the South, so it just makes it like so rich, so rich. Um, I see the world kind of differently because I mean, of course, speaking different languages, you just see the world just so different, you know. I just feel more open, like more open, like I can just communicate with more people, you know. So I just love it. And then just hearing y'all, you know, hear from different cultures, you know, share with me certain things. I'm so happy, you know, just to be able to share that with y'all. So it's not just speaking languages, is living in multiple worlds. Like to be honest, I see it as something so deep. Um, I do. And I just also want to give y'all some advice as well. So, how to start living a multilingual life now. So, I mean, if you speak English or you just speak one language, just start immersing yourself in it. You can do self immersion. You can watch stuff in Spanish. You can watch my videos. You know, take in my advice. Hey, subscribe if y'all not subscribed. Yeah, I think you just just make it part of your everyday life. I think that's how you can do it. So you can do daily exposure. You can listen to music. I listen to music in French. I watch shows in French. I have conversations with myself in French. And of course, Spanish, like I say, I'm around it all the time. I'm in Mexico. I'm working in Spanish. So just try. And then thinking in another language. I try to sometimes think in French. I automatically think in Spanish sometimes. So thinking in another language, I think that helps you embrace your mistakes. Like if you make mistakes, it's beautiful. When you make mistakes, I don't know the world. It's the school. The school system is kind of like, you know, like they want you to be like the way that it goes is like they want you to be perfect. I can't speak for all school systems. I'm just saying like the way I just kind of have experienced things. It's like that system is like you got to be perfect. You can't make no mistakes. You know, on your test, being a C1, being a B2, whatever, being a C, you know, whatever. You know, uh, don't worry. You make mistakes even in your native language today. So embrace your mistakes and know that you're gonna learn, you know, based off your mistakes. You know, even if we step outside of languages, if somebody train you for a job, you probably gonna make some mistakes on the first day. You know, so I feel like it's the same thing with a language. Like you're gonna make mistakes in life. You're gonna make mistakes. So what's the difference of making mistakes in life than with a language? You know, it's just, you know, you're gonna make mistakes no matter what. You know, you can be driving, you make a mistake. You know, even though you trained in driving, you know, it's just mistakes are part of life. You know, you learn from your mistakes. So I think you want to embrace mistakes. Um, I think it's important to have consistency over perfection because I think if you continue to be consistent with time, you'll be closer to perfection. You know, but if you focus so much on perfection, it delays the consistency. It delays your progress. You have to find joy in the process as well. So I feel like you're gonna be bored. You know, if you want to learn a different language, but you cannot find like joy in the process, you're gonna just be bored. So you have to find joy. So I want to ask everybody, where y'all from? Everybody that's watching me, is one person. Where you from? Where are y'all from? Some people told me earlier, but let me know where y'all from. Where are y'all from? Okay. What languages you want to learn? I mean, I know somebody told me they speak like 5 languages, so that's good. Can y'all share some struggles y'all have had? Like, can y'all share struggles y'all had trying to learn language? Like, what's your struggle you've had when you're trying to learn a language? You know, what are some of the struggles? You know, anybody got any struggles that they had or you're currently having? Okay, so all right, so we're gonna close. We're gonna close the live at this moment. We're gonna close it. If ain't nobody sharing, we're gonna close it. So so I'm expanding my world, you know, like By me being trilingual, I'm expanding my world. By having my website, doing my dancing, that's a whole world in itself. And I encourage people to start or keep going. Start if you want to learn a language, please start. Please start. Please don't stop. Find your own joy in it. It don't have to be because you got to be a perfect C1, C2. It's just you wanna keep going. You want to keep going and find your own motivation. Because I feel like when you look on the outside and you look for perfection in the language, it can cause you to really stop learning. Like it happened to me before. Like, because I'm like, I want to speak French so perfectly, but it's not about this. It's about you enjoying it. It's about you really loving it. So let's talk about my personal brand. So, like I said, my brand is Language Culture Vibes. They're pretty much I've talked about that in previous videos. Y'all follow, y'all subscribe to this channel. I've been saying it throughout this whole live, like y'all follow, y'all subscribe. You can check out my site at RussellTrilingual.com. On RussellTrilingual, you're going to see different services. I do Spanish to English interpretation. It's remote. All my services are remote. And I do the basic to intermediate French. I teach you the basic and intermediate if you're interested in French. If you're interested in English, because this is my native language, I teach you that. And then Spanish, I also do that, of course. Teach you Spanish. So yeah, join the future lives. If y'all want to see me go live again at any point at any time, I've been on here for a while, y'all. So I'm kind of sort of drained and burnt out now, like to be honest, because I've been on here for like about an hour and some change. So, I mean, that's it. That's it for today, for right now. I don't know if I'm going to get on and do something later, probably tomorrow, but that's it. I appreciate y'all. All right.